Call this meeting of Fayette County Commissioners to order. Start with the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You have the minutes of preceding meetings. Is there any additions or corrections?
Mr. President, I've read those meetings, and as usual, the auditor's done an excellent job. I move to accept them as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the minutes presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome.
Have the department head reports. Mr. Havlin?
Good morning.
Morning.
We've mainly been trimming trees, doing some patching. Been doing maintaining on the roads, trying to get the gravels ready for the winter. We'd like to cut them one more time before it freezes. I got a crew over there working on the bypass right now, trying to get the weeds off the guardrails. And I think, I was talking to Jerry, I think next year I'm gonna take the patch machine over there and spray patch underneath them guardrails to stop the weeds from coming back, because they're hard to control. We've sprayed them with weed killer 3 times this year, and they're still a foot above the guardrails. You just can't kill
Permanent
them.
fix, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that'll be the permanent fix. So I didn't know if I'd get in trouble for doing it, but Jerry didn't think it'd be any problem. So I think that's what we'll do next year before we start out. We'll try to burn them off first and then just spray patch the daylights out.
Yeah. Okay.
But the main thing we're doing right now is just getting everything ready and trying to patch some holes and trim some trees.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
Anybody got any questions for Jay? Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, sir.
The other department heads, Bill Gray is not going to be able to be here. There's the IT director,
I just sent him a text. See what's coming.
county attorney.
I have nothing for today.
Did you get a chance to check in on whether we had any recourse to the contractors who built this courthouse?
I still haven't received a copy of the contract.
Yeah, I'm still looking those up.
Okay.
If
I better, yeah,
you can get them for him.
well, I hope so. They're probably in archives, so it'll take some digging, but
Okay.
I will get those.
Okay, because we need that. We need somebody else to pay the bill if we get them to. All the commissioners have had several calls from the residents up in the north part of the county. There's a barn being built up there in Wayne County, as we understand it, to store chicken manure. The residents are all wondering what the commissioners or Fayette County can do about it or would do about it. So I've asked Bill McDaniel to come and explain what the situation is and what we can do and what we can't do, and what the residents can do to express their concerns to the proper people.
Okay, first of all, the issue is that it's in Wayne County. Any permitting occurs through Wayne County. In the state of Indiana, okay, manure, whether it's hog manure from cattle, whether it's from fowl, it's regulated through the state chemist office because it's classified as fertilizer. And this has to do with the storage and then also the application of the fertilizer. Now, whatever permits are required through IDEM or through the EPA, anything with the EPA, that would be through IDEM, any required permits. Any issues dealing with it is we have nothing that we can actually do here in Fayette County as a county government. Like I said, because two things, it's in another jurisdiction and it is also regulated by the state chemist office. Now, as far as options, from the way I view it, the way I understand it, is that any complaints, anything along those lines, those have to actually come from the citizens. I'm correct that it hasn't been constructed yet, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, if there's anything such as trying to preempt, that's something that would have to occur in court.
It's my understanding that the permits for the building has been made, but
Yeah. Okay, so to preempt the construction and the storage, it would really take something from the citizens affected by the action to try to get an injunction to try to stop what's going on now. Be an injunction for a period of time. Whatever information would then have to be pulled up. But I would suggest that any citizens who are doing this is that they would probably want to contact an attorney who is very familiar with these particular laws. Okay, then if it does get built, then there's issues as far as either the storage or the use of manure. Things aren't being stored properly. Those complaints then would go through the Indiana Department of Environmental Management.
Bill, on something like this, is it not required to have some kind of impact study as far as how it affects neighbors or something like that? I mean, it's obvious it's going to stink,
Yeah,
which I know it's farm community too, I understand that.
I would hope there is. I haven't looked into anything specifically with this type of issue as far as what's required in all the submissions of the applications for just the storage of manure. Now, I do know that when there's a confined feeding operation is what goes into IDEM, there's a pretty significant process they go through with IDEM in the application where they do get into issues related to the impact. How much is in there as far as direct impact of whether it's property values, odor, I really can't say, but there is a degree of impact statement that's associated with the application for confined feeding operations. But like I said, the issue is it's a nuisance issue or a potential nuisance issue, and then particularly since it's in Wayne County, is like I said, I'm pretty sure that the only real option would be for the citizens to start through the courts in Wayne County.
So that's their option.
What I see and what I can understand, I think that's pretty much it. Is the county attorney may have something to add that I've missed, or shed a little more light than I have.
Well, I mean, since they have, the thing to do would be to try and file for a preliminary injunction, halt the construction, and try to prove that it's going to be a nuisance, going to cause whatever the factors are that constitute either a private or a public nuisance. Since it's going to affect all the citizens in the same way, I think they could go for a public nuisance, which is easier, but it's still hard. And it could, I mean, they have all the permits, you said?
I would assume that they have all the permits. If they got the construction permits,
Yeah.
that they would probably have every required permit on the part of the state of Indiana.
But we don't know that.
We don't know that, and I would suspect that they do, because I doubt that Wayne County, the Plan Commission and the Building Office would issue a permit if it required state permits if it did not have any state permits.
The argument to me yesterday was, because I had talked to a couple of citizens up there, and they said it's going to considerably decrease the property value in Fayette County if that were to happen. So,
Is it a private business coming in, or is it a pub?
It's private.
Okay.
it's agricultural farming.
So I would suspect that those particular claims of property damages and then negative effects on how it would impact, or I should say the negative effect on the ability of them to use their residential properties for residential purpose. I would suspect that any of the information that would in addition to the preliminary injunction, to give time, typically that would be done to give time to pull their information together.
They try to have to show the negative effects, and then the people, the agricultural people will try to say, well, we're doing this, this, and this. It's
Yeah.
not going to be that bad, and
they'll
they're not
probably
really
show
going to
what
know
the
for sure
mitigation
until
is.
it's there. And then if it was terrible and made it unlivable, I mean, there's other action they could take, but I just don't know. I mean, it's something, like you said, the citizens would have to commence on their own.
Yeah, it's from multiple ways, I don't really envy the people that live out there over this. But, like I said, we have no control, we have no authority as an actual jurisdiction over. Like I said, number one, it's out of our jurisdiction. And then number two, it's something that's regulated, and then also any permits would be through the state of Indiana.
Well, would it be helpful to get the immediate contact information for the regulatory agencies that they're gonna have to deal with IDEM and?
Yeah, I think that would be a
you can
reasonable
get
course of
them.
action.
Yeah.
In the state chemist office and then IDEM. And then perhaps part of it would be then, with the press also contacting Wayne County as far as what the whole process is, what permits, they also understand that it needs
Right.
also.
Right.
So, because, like I said, as I know the people, plan commission up there, the head of it, and that's I just can't see them granting a permit for something that didn't have everything that's required
Right.
before issuing the permit.
Okay.
Is there any other questions
Any
concerning
other questions
this?
of Bill?
No.
Not at this time.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Bill.
sir.
All right, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Mail, we have any mail?
Oh, we did receive the grant. We did receive the grant for victim assistance, which that was kind of touchy because the grant for 1213 expired the end of September, and the new grant was to take over October 1, and the state committee that meets to approve the grants weren't meeting until the 9th, after the grant started. I called and I kind of expressed my concern about that because luckily we had enough time. Well, we kind of didn't. It was right on the edge as far as payroll, because some of the payroll would have been paid out of the pay we just had. So they have been this way. When I started working at the city in 1997, that was also always an issue through ICJI about approval of the grants and processing of the claims and getting the monies down to the county. So nothing has changed, but we did get approved for what we submitted. Let me see. I think that's kind of the only thing I really had in there for mail. Oh, here, there is one thing. I did receive from NACO, which is the National Association of Counties, for membership dues for 2014. It's $486. We didn't pay that last year, did we, Sharon? We opted not to be a part in that because of,
What's it
tight
for?
funds on the National Association of Counties dues.
And you said you didn't do it last year?
Right.
Is it just?
On account of tight funds, and
Okay.
that situation hasn't changed any.
No, it hasn't.
So is there any desire of the other two commissioners to opt into that this year, or at least just let it go like we did last year?
I have no desire.
I'd say pass.
That's all the mail, right? Old business, Health Department fee schedule amendment. That was brought up last
Yeah, and I wasn't there at that meeting.
month, and we just decided to look at it and make our decision this month. We had a copy of that last month. And I don't see a problem with it. Bring a little bit more money and make things
Right.
come out even. I'd entertain a motion that we approve the request.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the request for the fee schedule amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. New business, Nippon Insurance was supposed to be here and I don't see him.
I have s-
Yeah, that it was going to be Tony Carambelis. We still do not have our,
Rates for next year.
our rates for next year. They keep saying, they're working on it. I have not seen them yet. I have been contacted by a number of insurance companies wanting to give us a quote on health insurance rates. And so I think you guys need to decide, do you want to actually publish a request for bids for it? I've never seen what one of those looks like. I don't know. I would not have a clue how.
Well, in my opinion, I think we should. We've asked for the rates from Nippon clear back. We wanted to have them in August when the council met to consider the budget, and we don't have them yet. We do have at least 2 or 3 people that's wanting to bid on this insurance. I think we need to give everybody the opportunity to give us a coverage at the lowest amount we can, because
I agree.
I agree.
If there's somebody out there that can offer a comparable service/product
Right.
for a lower price, I think we're remiss in not doing so.
So we need to make a motion to advertise for quotes on insurance.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we go ahead and advertise for quotes for our health insurance. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have something new, Mr. President, just to ask real quick.
Okay?
About a month ago, we had talked about, and it had been written up about and brought to our attention about social media and the county employees, and I had that paper. Was that something we're supposed to vote on, or are we supposed to wait on that?
No, I think if you voted on that, then that would also become a part of the handbook,
Okay.
employee handbook.
So would
If
we
you
just
said-
wait on that then?
Well, I think we would probably need to also prepare I don't know, would it be a resolution, probably a resolution, or to amend the salary handbook and amendment and include that part of it. So we need to prepare that. So if you wanted to move forward on that, we'll go ahead and get that ready for.
I didn't mean to throw a curveball. I
No,
just seen it
I-
on my desk, and
I
I wasn't
had-
for sure what we were going to do with it.
Yeah, I had totally, well, we had just had it sent down by our consultants. We had asked a couple questions of them, and then that's what they come up with. That was a policy similar to what they're
Policy that's
seeing.
employed consistent with social media. Their purpose is to manage employees, and other issues.
Is that all you need on that?
Yeah, that's all I got.
I'll go ahead and get that ready.
And it had come to somebody.
The next item of new business, there's been considerable discussion about building a new garage down there. The council did appropriate some money for building one. The first item that has to be done if we're going to build it, well, wherever we build it, is we have to have soil borings done so the architect can determine whether it's the location satisfactory for a building and how to design the foundation for it. To get that process speeded up, I would like to have for the commissioners to ask for quotes for a firm to do the soil borings down there, and give them about a week or two to get their quotes in and go ahead and take the lowest bid and put a maximum of about $3,500 on it, so we can go ahead and get the first item done and get started on this one, because it's, at the very best, we're going to be at the end of the year before we can even put out bids for this. And with the shape that garage is in, we need to get something going and something done. And soil borings and soil borings, I would think any reputable firm that put in a bid I would think would be qualified to do it. So I would entertain a motion that we would ask for quotes and state that we would go ahead and accept the lowest bid with a maximum of $3,500.
I'll so move, Mr. President.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we take quotes for soil boring for the maximum of $3,500. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That's the last item I have on my agenda. We have any patrons' concerns?
We did get the advertisement put in the paper for an architect or engineer request for qualifications. And we will,
Those should be in by our next meeting, right?
well, we will need to have a special meeting if you want to try to move it along, or
I think we should.
Yes,
I agree.
the date being, and I thought that I would be out of town, turns out from other things that I will
So
actually.
28th. wasn't it?
23rd. Well, 23rd is when you can open them, and then you can score them,
And I didn't know.
and then if you wanted to,
Except one. I thought-
Because
yeah,
it's like,
well, you would need a little bit of time, once you got them in and opened them, you're gonna need a little bit of time to probably contact
people have.
their references and
Right.
and maybe even look at other buildings that they have designed, call other of their customers.
Because it's a type of intimidation.
So if you want to go ahead and have a meeting to open those, they're due on the 23rd, I believe.
That's just.
Well, then, let's see, when's the 23rd?
It's on it's a week from tomorrow.
Then probably we could award the contracts at a regular meeting.
Yes, that would give you enough time to look those over and do
Right.
that.
We could have a special meeting the 23rd to open the bids from the architect, or quotes from the architect, and then study them and do what we need to do, and then award a hire an architect on a regular meeting in November.
I have to check my social agenda, but I think I'll be free.
That's good.
So we would need we would need a motion to have a special meeting for the 23rd.
For the purpose of
For the
opening those,
purpose-
that'd be the only business you
For
would
the
do.
purpose, right, for the purpose of opening qualifications from architects.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we have the meeting, the special meeting the 23rd for the sole purpose of opening qualifications from architects. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now, we've got any patrons concerned. Anybody want to say anything? If not, we need approval of the claims and the payroll.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that the claims and the payroll be approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. President, we have no further business before the board. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, this meeting of the Board of Commissioners be adjourned. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, meeting adjourned.
Wednesday.
Be a record, by golly.